week 8 weeks pregnant. That's awesome. So I had my ultrasound, and I already posted the results and everything on our Facebook. So if you're not connected to our Facebook, I always put the link below. It's on our main page. I mean, it's on the our homepage, our YouTube homepage, the Facebook page. So that's where I update more daily. So most of you guys already know how that went, but I'll get right into it because I know that's everybody's big question. So one tiny perfect baby, and I've been recording my vlogs you know how I already said the due date I was estimating based on the time when I think I ovulated was October 2nd. So we got my official due date, and it's October 3rd. So I was spot on. I was right. So it was that second time, and so my vlog updates aren't going to change much. They were going up on Wednesdays. I think I might have sometimes, maybe I put one up on Tuesday just because I was jumping the gun, but now I'll just put them up Thursdays, or Fridays if I don't get it finished in time. So that's when my weeks roll over, is Thursdays. You have to pardon me. I have a cold, so I'll be hacking through this. So yeah, so we went in, okay, so I had my first midwife appointment, and it went really well. I really enjoyed it. It was a long appointment. It lasted longer than 2 hours. They do all the exact same tests that you do at a normal doctor's office. They even did the blood work, all the blood work they normally do at a doctor's office. It was just funny because at a doctor's office, a nurse will do it, and here the midwife herself did it. So she was taking all the blood or whatever, and I already got my lab results back, and she texted them to me. So that's another thing. The doctor's office, you don't even hear anything unless something's wrong. They don't even let you know what's going on. So she texted me, was like, everything looks good, and my only problem was my blood sugar was too low, but I threw up that day before I came in. So when I went in there, I was a little dehydrated, I was hungry, but I'd been sick. Morning sick, not sick virus. So, there's that. Yeah, you know how last week I was I'm nauseous a lot, but at least I'm not throwing up. Yeah, now I am, so that's okay, it just happens. Plus we already knew that because you also take this little, I've seen other people talk about it, but there's who have midwives. You have this, it's this long strip, and it has all these different little patches, and they test for tons of different things, and you use it every time you go in. You put the test in yourself, you do it yourself. So she showed me how to do it, and then whatever. So when we did that one, everything looked good except my ketones. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to ask her next time. I don't remember, but one of the things was really off, and it was the one she was oh, you're hungry, that's what that means. And I was you can tell I'm hungry? What? And she was really sweet, so she gave me string cheese. She was here's some string cheese, eat this. I was thanks. But so besides that, everything was awesome. We talked about everything from medical history. Oh yeah, she talked about my medical history with having preeclampsia and a touch of hypertension or whatever at the end with Grayson. Because of that, I was concerned. That was my only thing I was worried about. And the midwife had looked at my medical history, and she said my blood pressure was, it got high a couple of times, but in general, it was nothing she was concerned about. My normal blood pressure is fantastic. I have a pulse rate of an athlete. I don't know how, because I'm a puddle of dough. So I have a really good heart rate. My blood pressure is excellent normally, and so that's the good news, is that, so actually what was considered slightly high blood pressure for me, or a high blood pressure and for me for what mine normally was during pregnancy, is still not even considered a dangerous level for most women. And so that's the good news, is they just weren't that concerned, and so I was happy. Like I said, she looked at my medical records, she looked at, she knew what my levels had been, how high my blood pressure had gotten during the pregnancy, blah blah blah. So yay, so that's good. She said I could gain around 20 pounds. I was thinking more 15, 20, 25 pounds-ish is the average for when you're in a normal weight range. I am normal overweight, I'm right there. So I was thinking maybe I'm heavier than I was with my first. And so I was thinking maybe 15, and I said that to her, and she said that was fine. I could, 15 pounds was fine as long as everything looked normal, but that it was okay if I did gain more. So we were thinking like 20, So, because I am higher, like I'm like right there between normal and overweight, So I just don't need to gain a ton of weight, and so hopefully I'll keep it down. And I won't try to be under gaining weight. I'm not so vain that I can't do that. It's just, I just would like to keep it like in check. And so, and so that was fine. What else did she do? We just talked about everything, you guys. She was just really nice. So my nausea, I still am really nauseous. And I guess, as I said last week, I was like, a lot of people were like, maybe it's twins because I had so much nausea, but I was saying, I just didn't really feel like it was twins. I guess I was right. Okay, so I have a tipped uterus. There's a lot of different nicknames for it. Retroverted, like backwards, flipped. I just call it tipped. Basically, like a normal woman, your uterus, so like, say down here is like your vagina, and then you go up into your uterus. And a normal woman's, and here's the belly, like the belly's over here, right? Normal woman's uterus is kind of like this, right? So my uterus is like this. It's like back over here. So, my uterus is flipped. It makes it, you can't really hear the heartbeat very early. It's hard to see a baby on an ultrasound early unless they do the vaginal one where they use the wand. But I've had it with both my other kids. It's not a big deal. About 20% of women have this. It almost never causes any problems. It's very rare that causes a problem. Very rare. It's pretty much just not a big deal at all. So only thing is like I said, it's harder to hear the heartbeat because of where the baby's positioned. But by about 12 weeks or so, your uterus flips back the way it does in a normal woman. So because the weight of the baby and everything, it'll flip it forward. And it can actually flip forward a little sooner as it's getting bigger in subsequent pregnancies, because it does get bigger a little faster. Not the baby grows the same rate, but the uterus, your muscles remember, and so. But anyway, it still was flipped back. So anyway, this ultrasound lady though, she's been doing it for 17 years, 20 years, something like that. Like she's apparently like just great, right? And she comes to the birth center that I'm having the baby at, has their own ultrasound machine, but they bring in a technician to do all this stuff, just a high professional, whatever. So she came in and she knew, she was just so good. She like when I was pregnant with Sophia, I had an early ultrasound because they wanted to check to make sure the baby had a heart rate before we went to Egypt. So, that lady could not find the baby about the same time that I was checked with this third baby. But with Sophia, that tech could not find the baby. She had to go in vaginally and do it with a wand, and then still barely found the baby. This technician, I think, had more skills. So she found that baby, and so we couldn't hear the heart rate. You couldn't get it like to show up even on the machine. But we could see it. She put that little probe on there, and there was the baby, and it was just one little baby. And, it is harder to see. So, but she found it. And its little heart rate was just like, like I said, we couldn't hear it, but they could see it. And it was strong and steady and just great. It was wonderful. So that was fantastic. I was so happy to see that little baby. Kyle said right before they put the probe on, he had this like moment of like, oh my gosh, what if it is twins? And he said he kind of freaked out, so he was really happy. Not that we wouldn't be happy if it was twins, of course we would. We kind of just wanted the one baby, so he was like, oh, just one. But anyway, sorry for all the congested blah blah blah, that's not cool. All this snort on camera. So my nausea is still here. It has been changing a little bit. I think it's better. I get nauseous. It's not as much of the day. It was like pretty much all day. Now, definitely morning's the worst. Probably until closer to noon. Basically in the morning it's awful. I make myself eat, make myself drink. But then by around 11 noon, I'm hungry. I'm starting to feel a little better. Sometimes I feel bad then because I'm still hungry. Because I'm hungry because maybe I didn't eat a lot of breakfast, or even if I did, I'm like hungry again. But then I'll eat and I'll start to feel better. So that's good. So like it's getting better. And last week I thought it was maybe getting better, but I thought maybe it was in my head. Maybe I was just pretending it was better, like trying to have a better attitude. But this week I know it's definitely getting better. Like right now, I'm actually, besides my cold, which is just making me feel a little I don't really feel that nauseous, you know, and so that's good. And I don't know, maybe my cold's not that bad, so maybe part of it's morning sickness still. I don't know, but regardless, I'm not as horrible. I was gonna show you guys the prenatal vitamins that they gave me. I'll have to show you next week because they're all downstairs. But they are flipping numerous and huge. Oh my goodness. But they're supposed to be really high grade. I spent $90 on prenatal vitamins. $90. Although I think I can get them. I think that's covered by my flexible spending account. But still, I had to pay $90 up front. That's fine. You know, it is what it is. Okay, so, one thing I forgot to talk about in the last couple of weeks is that my face broke out horribly. This is not normal for me during pregnancy. Normally during pregnancy, my skin looks amazing. So I was kind of like, oh, great. But you know what? I'm not surprised because I was so sick that those hormones must have been acting crazy. So I'm not surprised that they made my face explode. So anyway, my face has just been so broken out. I was like, ugh. Like, I don't break out like that normally. And I don't have like perfect skin by any means, but I don't do that. I mean, I'm lucky enough not to do that. So I was whatever. But now my face is starting to clear up. So yay. Hopefully I'll go back to normal, which is during pregnancy. My skin looks great. Except, side note, during my last, with both Grayson and Sophia, my face broke out right, like just within a day or two, a couple days before I went into labor. So I wonder if I'm going to do that this time. All right, so that's that. That is all of that. So now here's the last thing this is the important thing I want to talk about. And this is kind of, it's not hard to talk about, but it's kind of weird. And it's not something I've had to talk about before because I don't have a problem normally. But when I was, part of all the paperwork I had to fill out with my midwife was a test to check for depression and anxiety and things like that. Well, I did not pass the test. And you guys see me every day. You see me without makeup, you've seen me cry, you've seen me laugh, you kind of, I think because of how I vlog, you see, like people are very kind and they're always like, oh, we like you because you're really honest, and I really appreciate that. And the thing is, like I was talking to a friend about this, I was like, I don't see how if you film the way we do, how you couldn't be honest. And that would be really hard to keep a lie up. I'm sure that there are daily vloggers that it is like, there is some pretense going on there. But in my situation, it's just, that would be exhausting. How would you keep up with anything but honesty? And so the point of that is that you all kind of know my personality. You know, I get grumpy sometimes and I get frustrated with the kids sometimes. You've seen it. But in general, it's just like, I have my moments, but I'm pretty okay. I'm a pretty optimistic person. I'm, you know, sunny person. And I have just not been, I think I said this in my 6-week update, or I don't remember, 7-week, that I just haven't felt like myself. I guess there was more to it than I realized. I think the problem was a little deeper. So the test, I didn't like outright fail it. I kind of landed in the category of like needs to be reevaluated. So I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised because I've never, you know, just whatever. But it was really nice having, this is where it was nice to have a midwife. If I had a doctor, I would never even talked about this stuff with her. But with the midwife, I felt really comfortable, and I told her, I was like, I haven't felt like myself. I was like, I just, I get, as a parent, you get stressed sometimes, like you do. I think I get stressed more often in my life now as a parent than I ever have before. You know, the kids can stress you out, and not just like because they do something and you worry, like they can just annoy you. It's true. Like, let's be honest, you know, it doesn't matter how much you love your kids or how much you wanted them. Sometimes they annoy you. Sometimes you get stressed. Like, that's all normal. So I know that. I've had these kids now for a while. I know that sometimes I get stressed. Sometimes I snap at them and I have to calm down and, like, you know, tell Sophie, I'm sorry, mommy overreacted. I'm not perfect, like that happens, but I know what's normal for me. I know my normal level of, my normal response when I'm anxious or stressed. I know at what point, you know, even if I feel like it, Oh, God bless me, I had to sneeze. I know how my normal kind of like overreaction is, and how my body responds to that and how I respond to that, and I know what's not normal, and I have not been normal lately. Like the kids will do something and I just get so stressed that it's not just like emotionally where I'm like, oh, kids, why are you doing this? I'm a little stressed, and then I just get over it. That's how it normally is. It's like I get stressed and I feel it. Like I feel it like in my chest and in my shoulders. Like it's like a physical reaction. It's not just emotional. I physically I tense up and I'm like I can't handle it. And that's so, oh, it's just so crazy. It's so crazy. It's just, and it's so weird because, you know, before we got pregnant with this little one, I was worried about handling 3 kids and what that, I was, you know, worried about that. It's so funny because that doesn't, I don't know, for some reason, as soon as we found out we were pregnant, I was like, you know, actually before we found out we were pregnant, I think when I first was disappointed about not being pregnant, I got over that. I wasn't worried about that anymore. And I haven't really been worried about it since. Like maybe a little, like of course I'm kind of like, oh, it's probably going to be a little bit of work. But I kind of look at it the way I try to look at everything, which is like, yeah, it's not probably going to be like perfect every moment, but it'll be cool. It'll be worth it. So that's not the problem. Like that's actually so much better than it was 6 months ago. It's not that. It's not worrying about, because that would make sense. It would make sense that I would be worried about, you know, that kind of thing. But that's not it. I'm not worried. Thinking about having a baby doesn't worry me. Thinking about the labor doesn't worry me. All of that just seems fine. It's just like in the moment. And I really think, like the more I thought about it, I was like, I really feel like it's because I have felt so ill and I've been so nauseous and it's just unrelenting. And I think it kind of wore me out. I think it like just emotionally like and you know, forget physical, but like I think it just like, you know, my persona, like I think it literally was like wearing me down, and so where I just am not handling things and I'm not myself, and I do not like that at all. But you know, I was really honest about it, and it's funny because you think about postpartum depression, you don't ever really think about like a depression like with the pregnancy. You know, I mean, I know some people when they're stressed about having the baby, or if they can afford it, or if it's the pain or the responsibility. But like I said, that with me, that's not it. So I don't think about it, the fact that you can have some depression and some anxiety that's not related to actual caring for the kids, which that kind of makes sense. It's not like that. It really is. I can tell it's the hormones. It's the, you know, and also just like the unrelenting like kind of nausea and the things, and it just wore me out. And I wanted to share that because I'm sure I'm not the only one that this has happened to. But the good news is that I slowly am feeling like, I feel like I really do feel like I'm kind of on the mend. So that's good. So the midwife, she said that when she was talking to me, she's like, I can tell that you're really sunny, and she's like, I can just tell your personality. She's like, you have a glow, and it was really sweet of her to say that. She was just really nice, and she was like, I think you're gonna be just fine, and it's gonna work itself out. And she was like, and if you still are getting these like emotions and that, you know, chest tightening, anxiety, she's like, there are natural things we can try before anything else, you know, herbs and things that help you cope. So that's, we'll take that step if we need to, but in the meantime, I guess just trying to just get through the day and be better. And like I said, I do feel better. I really do. Not just with the nausea and stuff, but I feel like I'm a little bit better. Like I feel, so hopefully, because I told Kyle, I was like, it's hard because I'm the type of person that I love getting excited for things. And it's like, I can't even get excited for anything because I'm so caught up in this like current situation of just getting through. And I don't like that. That is not how I like to live my life. That's just not me. It's not me at all. So I'm sorry that this one is so long, you guys. I was like, this week I'm going to make sure to keep it short. But there's just so much to talk about with ultrasounds and the midwife and the blah, blah, blah. So my next appointment's March 14th. I don't remember. March 12th? Something like that. I don't remember. March blah, blah, blah. So that's my next appointment. And in the meantime, hopefully I still get over this ridiculous cold and also keep feeling better with the nausea. So I'll show you the belly, although it looks a lot like last week. Again, I'm filming at the end of the day when I look like flippin' hugeness. Oh, I did forget to say that I'm bloating. Crazy bloat. Like, I did that at the beginning and it kind of like settled down a little. Now I'm like crazy bloating where I'll be sitting and it literally looks like there's a beach ball. Like maybe not as big as a beach ball, but like that round shape. Like I'll sit and I'm like, what the heck? And it's up higher, so it's not like down low with the baby. It is like pure bloat and it is crazy. And it doesn't even look like fat or anything because it's like round. I mean, it looks like I'm 4 or 5 months pregnant. It's crazy. It's with the shirt. Just a little bump of a phone starting. Okay, thank you guys. I hope you stuck with it. Sorry it was so long. I'll try to keep the next one shorter. And I will talk to you again. Bye guys.